Welcome back to Unlocking Inner Peace. In the past 3 episodes, we've undertaken a rather profound and meaningful journey of discovery, from bravely acknowledging the unavoidable low notes in our daily lives. That was the content of episode 1. Then we unmasked the hidden culprits, the deep-seated reasons behind those afflictions in episode 2. And particularly, in the recent episode 3, we lit a very bright lighthouse of hope, affirming that there is absolutely a way out, a haven of peace for the soul that all of us are capable of reaching. Perhaps after listening to that promising haven of peace, many of you are feeling more hopeful, more encouraged, but at the same time are also very curious and wondering. So, what specific path will lead us to that wonderful haven? How can we turn those understandings, those hopes, into practical actions, into positive habits in our daily lives to gradually touch that peace? If those are your concerns, your desires right now, then congratulations. Today's podcast episode, our episode 4, is the answer you're looking for. Today, we will not just stop at knowing that a haven of peace awaits, but we will explore a detailed map, a set of 8 specific golden keys that are easy to grasp, easy to apply, helping us open each door one by one on the journey to find inner peace. And a little spoiler is that today's episode will be a bit longer than usual because I want to share each key in great detail. I sincerely hope everyone will be patient and understanding of my enthusiasm for this. Imagine, after knowing there's a treasure, peace, and a map leading to it, today, we will be given a master set of keys to open the challenging doors along the way. These 8 keys, 8 paths, 8 approaches, 8 habits of thought and action. If we practice them persistently, our lives will surely become much more meaningful and lighter. So, are you ready to explore each golden key in detail with me? Brew a warm cup of tea, find a truly comfortable spot, and let's begin this inspiring practical journey. Part 1. Golden key number 1. Seeing things as they are. The power of perceiving true nature. Okay, the first key, and perhaps the foundation for all, the key that helps us not get lost from the very first steps, I'll temporarily call seeing things as they are. Sounds simple, doesn't it? But actually, this is quite an art and a continuous practice, everyone. Seeing things as they are means we learn to perceive every event, person, and even ourselves correctly, objectively, unclouded by prejudices, fleeting emotions, or rose-tinted illusions. It's about understanding the root causes of our worries, the things that make us unhappy. Instead of just feeling the surface of discomfort, we dig deeper to understand why we feel that way. The real reasons behind problems, not hastily blaming circumstances or others, but comprehensively considering all contributing factors. And more importantly, recognizing the path to feeling better, to finding real solutions instead of just struggling in negativity. Let me put it more simply. Do you ever feel extremely stressed because of work? For example, your superior assigns a tough project with a very tight deadline. The first reaction for many might be, "Oh my God, why am I so miserable? The boss is making things difficult for me again. I can't do this." Those are very emotional reactions, dominated by immediate feelings. But if we pause for a moment and apply this seeing things as they are key, we take a step back to observe and analyze. Perceive the true nature of the problem. What is the discomfort here really? Is it time pressure? Or a challenge to our abilities, requiring skills we're not truly confident in? Or is it the fear of failure, fear of not meeting expectations? Where does the cause of this discomfort come from? Is it because I don't know how to manage my time effectively? Or am I lacking some necessary professional skills for this project? Or am I putting unnecessary pressure on myself, imagining worst-case scenarios? So what is the path to escape this discomfort? Can I break down the work into more manageable parts? Can I seek support from more experienced colleagues? Or request an extension if truly necessary? Or simply accept this as a challenge for me to grow, try my best within my capabilities, and whatever the outcome, what matters is what I've learned from this process. When you see these aspects clearly, you will understand the situation more profoundly. Instead of being overwhelmed by initial negative emotions, you start to see directions, feasible solutions. Or another very relatable example in today's digital age, social media. We scroll through Facebook, Instagram, see friends, acquaintances posting pictures of luxurious travels, new houses, new cars, perfect partners, smart and talented children. Immediately, a feeling of comparison, inadequacy, even envy can creep into our minds. Why does everyone have such a wonderful life, but me? But if you pause and see things as they are, you will ask yourself deeper questions. Is what I see online the entire picture of their lives? Or is it just a highlight reel? The best moments, carefully selected and edited before posting? Are there hidden aspects, difficulties they don't share? Does others' happiness, others' success, truly define my own happiness and success? Or does each of us have our own path, our own measure of value, different priorities in life? Does this comparison actually bring me any benefit? Or does it just make me more tired, insecure, and distracted from focusing on my own goals and values? When you see through the nature of the matter, that social media often reflects only a very small and usually glamorized part of real life, you will be less swept away by negative emotions caused by comparison. You will focus more on building happiness and success in your own way, suitable for your circumstances and your own values. Seeing things as they are also means realizing a very important truth. Everything in this life is constantly changing. Nothing is immutable. Nothing lasts forever. Work may be very good today, but tomorrow it might face new difficulties, new challenges. A relationship that is happy and harmonious today might have misunderstandings, small clashes tomorrow. Health that is very good today might be a bit under the weather, uncomfortable tomorrow. When we understand that this uncertainty, this constant change, is an inevitable part, a natural law of life, we will be less attached to what we have, less pained when things don't go as planned, or when good things don't last forever. We learn to adapt, to be more flexible, and to embrace change as an opportunity to learn and grow. For example, you set a goal to be promoted at work after 2 years of effort, but by that deadline, you still haven't achieved the desired position. Instead of sinking into disappointment, frustration, and thinking you've failed, apply seeing things as they are. Perhaps the external labor market is changing, your company has new HR strategies, or you simply need a little more time to hone the necessary skills for that position. Understanding these factors clearly helps you adjust your expectations more realistically and continue to strive in a more suitable direction, instead of giving up halfway. This first key is like being given a special pair of glasses, helping you see through the fog of emotions, prejudices, and superficial illusions. Everything becomes clearer, sharper. You no longer look at life in a one-sided, distorted way. And only when you see clearly can you make wise decisions and take the right actions for the next steps on your journey. So there you have it, the first golden key, seeing things as they are. Try practicing it in small, everyday situations. When a strong emotion, joy, sadness, anger, fear, arises, pause for a moment, observe it. Ask yourself where it comes from and what it's trying to tell you about the situation you're experiencing. Gradually, you'll find yourself calmer, clearer, and much better able to manage your emotions and your life. Part 2. Golden key number 2, constructive thinking. Sowing good seeds in the garden of the mind. We've just explored the first golden key, seeing things as they are, the power of perceiving true nature. And once we have a clear, objective view of the world around us and what's happening within us, the next key, golden key number 2, will help us actively cultivate the soil of our minds to make it more fertile and vibrant. I call it constructive thinking. Constructive thinking means we actively choose and nurture positive, kind, constructive thoughts that are directed towards good things. It's not about denying or avoiding the difficult realities, the challenges in life. Rather, it's about choosing to react to those difficulties in an optimistic, proactive way that is most beneficial for our personal growth and for those around us. Have you noticed? Our mind is like a garden. If you neglect it, don't care for it, and allow negative seeds, like doubt, fear, discouragement, criticism, blame, to freely sprout and grow, your mental garden will soon become overgrown with weeds, barren, and will not bear fragrant flowers or sweet fruits. Conversely, if you are aware of this and actively sow seeds of optimism, gratitude, understanding, forgiveness, patience, and diligently water them every day, then that garden will gradually become lush, brilliantly colored with joy and peace. Imagine you've just had a presentation in front of a crowd and feel it didn't go as well as you'd hoped. If you let destructive thinking, weeds, take over, I'm terrible. I have no public speaking ability at all. Everyone must be laughing at me, looking down on me. I'll never dare to do this again. These thoughts only pull you deeper into feelings of disappointment, inadequacy, and fear. But if you choose constructive thinking, sowing good seeds, okay, this presentation wasn't great in a few spots, but I tried very hard and was brave enough to stand here and share. What can I learn from this experience? Maybe next time I need to prepare the Q&A part better or practice more in front of a mirror to be more confident. This is a good opportunity for me to identify areas for improvement and grow. See the difference, everyone? The same event, the same initial outcome, but how we think about it, how we interpret it in our minds, will determine our subsequent emotions and actions. Constructive thinking helps us turn failures into lessons and challenges into opportunities. Constructive thinking is also very clearly reflected in how we treat others in our thoughts, even before speaking them aloud. For example, a colleague of yours is late for an important meeting today. If you let negative, judgmental thoughts lead, late again, always like this, so unprofessional, so inconsiderate, probably overslept or loitering somewhere. But if you choose constructive, understanding thoughts, maybe they got stuck in traffic or had an unexpected family emergency. I hope everything is okay with them. I'll gently ask them later if something happened or if I can help in any way. When we practice thinking about others in a kind, empathetic way, we not only lighten our own minds, reducing unnecessary frustration, but also create positive energy, a more harmonious and pleasant atmosphere in our relationships. Another important aspect of constructive thinking is always aiming for good things, kind actions, no matter how small. This means that in all our thoughts, we consciously choose what brings benefit, joy, and stability to ourselves and others, instead of what causes harm or affliction. For example, when you see someone struggling on the street, e.g., their vehicle broke down, or they're carrying heavy items, instead of thinking their business, not mine, I'm in a hurry, you might pause for a moment and think, is there anything I can do to help them in this situation? A simple inquiry, a small act of help could make their day better. At work, when faced with a new task, a difficult challenge, instead of immediately thinking, this is too hard, I can't do it, I'll definitely fail, try to shift your thinking. This is a good opportunity for me to learn new things, to push my limits. I'll research carefully, plan meticulously, and try my best. Whatever the outcome, I'll grow from it. How can we practice constructive thinking effectively in our daily lives? Identify weeds in the mind. Make it a habit to observe your thoughts, especially negative ones, self-judgments, or blaming others. Just identify them. No need to torment yourself or try to suppress them immediately. Uproot weeds and actively sow good seeds. When you detect a negative thought, challenge its validity. Is this thought really based on truth? Or is it just an assumption, a baseless fear? Is there another, more positive, more constructive way to look at this situation? Then, actively replace that negative thought with a more constructive one. Example: instead of constantly repeating in your head, I'm useless, I can't do anything right, try telling yourself, I am in the process of learning and improving myself. There are things I haven't done well, but I will learn from experience and try to do better next time. I believe in my abilities. Practice gratitude daily. Every day, spend a few minutes thinking about at least 3 things you are grateful for in life. These could be big things like health, family, work, or small things like a delicious meal, a stranger's smile, a beautiful day. This helps your mind focus on good, positive things, instead of just dwelling on shortcomings or difficulties. Limit exposure to unnecessary, negative energy sources. Be more conscious of what you feed your mind each day. Reduce reading overly negative, pessimistic news, unless it's important information you need to know. Limit participation in pointless arguments, gossip, and slander on social media. And if possible, Keep a distance from people who are always pessimistic, complaining, or criticizing others, as their negative energy can affect you. Constructive thinking is not a magic spell that can make all your life's problems disappear instantly, but it is an incredibly powerful tool that helps us face life more proactively, more strongly, more optimistically, and thereby create better outcomes for ourselves and those around us. Remember, your mind is a precious garden. Be a diligent, patient, and wise gardener. Part 3. Golden Key Number 3. Wise Words, Kind Intentions. The healing power of communication from the heart. We have journeyed through the first two golden keys, seeing things as they are to clarify the mind, and constructive thinking to direct our thoughts towards goodness. When we have clarity and good intentions within, the natural next step is how we express these to the outside world through speech. The third golden key we will explore today is wise words, kind intentions. Wise words, kind intentions is not merely about speaking flowery, empty words, or trying to be artificially clever. It is the harmonious combination of four crucial elements that help our words truly bring value, connection, and even healing. Speaking truthfully, speaking kindly and pleasantly, speaking beneficial words, and speaking at the right time and place. Speaking truthfully. This may sound very obvious, right? But in reality, it's not always easy to achieve. Truthful here doesn't mean we have to be blunt to the point of hurting others or thoughtlessly voicing every thought in our head. It means not lying, not intentionally distorting the truth, not exaggerating facts to mislead, and also not concealing important things that need to be known. Example: if you make a mistake at work, instead of trying to hide it, make excuses, or blame others, bravely admit it frankly and responsibly. I apologize, everyone. This was my oversight in handling the work. I take full responsibility and will immediately find a way to rectify the consequences. This sincerity, though it might initially make you feel a bit awkward or embarrassed, will build trust and respect from colleagues and superiors in the long run. Or in a friendship. If you can't make a prearranged appointment, instead of making up some excuse that sounds more glamorous, politely tell the truth if it's shareable. For example, "I'm so sorry, but I have an unexpected family matter to deal with this weekend, so I can't join you all. I'm very sorry. Let's plan another fun time together." Sincerity will help your friends understand and sympathize with you more than a clumsy lie. Speaking kindly and pleasantly, not speaking harsh, vulgar words. The same content, but different ways of expression will yield entirely different results. Kind, gentle, polite words that respect the listener are much more easily received and go deeper than abrupt, harsh words, or words that are critical, sarcastic, or insulting. Imagine you need to give feedback to a colleague about a report they didn't do very well. An unkind, hurtful way of speaking. "This report of yours is terrible. It's full of mistakes. Who can even read this? What kind of work is this?" A kind, constructive way of speaking. "I've just reviewed your report. The market analysis and data sections are very well done and detailed. There are a few minor points in the proposed solutions section. I think if we could adjust them a bit, make them more specific and feasible, the report would be even better. For example, in this section, what do you think if we add?" Even when you are feeling very annoyed or dissatisfied, try to take a deep breath before speaking. Choose the least hurtful words. Focus on the problem to be solved, not on attacking the listener personally. A gentle, sincere word often has much more power than scolding or criticism. Speaking beneficial words, not speaking useless, frivolous words. Before you intend to say something, pause for a moment and ask yourself, will what I'm about to say truly bring any benefit to the listener, to this situation, or to myself? Will it help solve a problem, bring new understanding, create a better connection, or inspire positivity? If the answer is no, or even it might cause harm, then perhaps silence is golden. This is especially important in avoiding gossiping about others' private lives, speaking ill of them behind their backs, or engaging in pointless arguments and trivial chatter. Such words not only bring no benefit, but can also hurt others, damage relationships, and consume your own precious energy. Instead, focus on constructive conversations, sharing useful knowledge and experiences, encouraging and uplifting others when they face difficulties, offering sincere and constructive feedback, or simply truly listening with attention and empathy when others need to share. Speaking at the right time and place. Even the best advice, even a necessary truth, if spoken at the wrong time or in the wrong place, can backfire or even cause unintended negative consequences. Subtlety in choosing the time and space for communication is also a very important part of wise words, kind intentions. Example, you see a close friend who is very happy and excited at a birthday party. That's probably not the right time to bring up a mistake they just made at work for frank feedback. Wait for another time, when you both have privacy, are in a relaxed mood, and ready for a more serious conversation. Or when someone is going through great sorrow or loss. Clichés like everything will be all right, or don't be sad, be strong, may not be truly helpful, and can even make them feel their emotions are being dismissed. Instead, a sincere hug, a shared silence, or simple, gentle words like, I'm here with you, or if you need anything, please don't hesitate to tell me, can bring much more comfort and strength. Practicing wise words, kind intentions, not only helps us communicate more effectively, build and maintain good, strong relationships, but is also a way for us to express maturity, kindness, and depth in our souls. Words have immense power. They can soothe wounds, heal hurts, inspire, motivate, but they can also injure, cause division, and leave indelible scars. Be someone who uses that power consciously, responsibly, and always aims for goodness. A small exercise for you this week. Before you intend to say something important, try to pause for a second, take a deep breath, and ask yourself 4 questions. Is this word truthful? Is it kind and pleasant? Is it beneficial? And is it the right time and place? You'll be surprised by the positive changes this small habit can bring to your relationships and to the peace within your own soul. Part 4. Golden Key Number 4. Benevolent Actions. Sowing sweet fruits for the future from right deeds. We have explored the first 3 golden keys, seeing things as they are for clear perception, constructive thinking for positive thought, and wise words, kind intentions for kind speech. From right perception to benevolent thinking, then to constructive speech. And now, the 4th golden key will take us to a crucial step, turning all that inner goodness into concrete, practical actions in the external world. This is the key named benevolent actions. Benevolent actions are right deeds, consistent with good moral standards, that do not harm ourselves, do not harm others, do not harm animals, and do not harm our shared living environment. Simultaneously, these actions also contribute to creating good things, bringing benefits and joy to the community. It might sound like grand things, lofty principles, but benevolent actions actually start from very small, very specific things in each of our daily lives. It includes basic principles such as not harming living beings, not intentionally harming sentient beings. This is not merely about not killing people or animals without cause, cruelly. More broadly, it is respect for life in all its forms, a compassionate heart, and empathy for the suffering of all sentient beings. Example, instead of wantonly picking flowers or breaking branches while walking in a park just because they look beautiful, you can choose to stop, admire their beauty, and let them continue to bloom for everyone to enjoy. Instead of littering indiscriminately in rivers, lakes, or on streets, polluting the habitat of other creatures and affecting public health, you consciously find a trash can to dispose of garbage properly. When you see a small animal trapped or injured, if possible, you find a safe way to help it. In human relationships, not harming living beings also means not intentionally causing deep emotional harm to others, not putting down colleagues for personal advancement, not playing dirty tricks, not using despicable tactics to undermine others. In an argument, instead of trying to crush the opponent with harsh words or overwhelming actions, you choose to listen respectfully, present your views calmly, and seek mutual understanding, avoiding hurting their feelings and self-esteem. Not taking what is not yours, no stealing, no cheating. This principle is very clear on the surface. It means not stealing others' property or money. But it has a deeper and broader meaning. not possessing anything that is not the result of one's own honest efforts, not rightfully and ethically yours. Example: this means not cheating in exams to get high scores, not plagiarizing others' work and claiming it as your own, not appropriating colleagues' creative ideas. In business, it means not deceiving customers with false information, not using unfair competitive practices to eliminate rivals. When you find a lost wallet containing money and personal documents, instead of secretly keeping it, you try every means, through information on the documents, social media, or reporting to authorities, to return it to the owner. Or when shopping at a supermarket, if the cashier mistakenly gives you too much change, you honestly point out the mistake and return the excess amount. These small actions demonstrate your integrity, your honesty, and contribute to building a more trustworthy society. Maintaining healthy, respectful, and faithful relationships, no wrong sexual conduct. In a modern context, we can understand this as fidelity, respect, and responsibility in emotional relationships, especially in love and marriage. It means not deceiving one's partner, not committing adultery, not interfering in others' family happiness. It also means building relationships, friends, colleagues, partners, based on mutual trust and respect, not exploiting or manipulating others for personal gain. Not engaging in harassing behavior, physical assault, or emotionally damaging others in matters of gender or affection. Example: you fully honor your commitments to your lover or spouse, dedicate time and effort to nurturing the relationship to make it stronger, and together resolve conflicts, if any, constructively and respectfully. You also respect the personal boundaries of friends and colleagues, avoiding inappropriate or immoderate words or actions. Not lying, actions consistent with truthful speech. This principle was mentioned in the wise words, kind intentions key, but it is also an indispensable part of benevolent actions. Because a lie, whether small or large, is also an unwholesome action that can lead to negative consequences. Truthfulness in both word and deed is the foundation of trust and respect in all relationships. The act of not lying, not spreading false rumors, not bearing false witness, helps build a transparent and trustworthy living and working environment. Keeping a clear mind, not clouded by intoxicants, not abusing addictive substances. This means we need to avoid abusing substances that can impair our judgment, our ability to control our behavior, leading to wrong words and actions that harm ourselves and others. Example: you know that drinking too much alcohol will make you lose control of your words and actions, potentially causing traffic accidents or unnecessary conflicts and quarrels with family and friends. Therefore, you choose to drink in moderation, responsibly, or preferably not at all when you know you will have to drive or participate in important matters requiring sobriety. This can also be extended to not being addicted to other things that can cloud reason and negatively affect life, such as game addiction to the point of neglecting studies or work, social media addiction to the point of neglecting real life and real relationships, or not letting overly strong negative emotions like extreme anger or blind jealousy control your actions without reflection. Benevolent actions are not an overly distant goal of becoming a saint who never makes mistakes. Rather, it is a conscious choice, a daily practice for us to live a more meaningful, more responsible life, and to create positive values for the world around us. Every good deed, however small, like helping a stranger in difficulty, giving up your seat to an elderly person on the bus, donating a small amount to a charity, or simply offering a sincere smile to someone you meet on the street, is like sowing a good seed. Then one day, those seeds will grow into lush green trees, providing shade and sweet fruit, which are peace in your soul, good relationships, and a life you feel truly proud of when you look back. Try each day to set a goal for yourself to do at least one small benevolent action. You will find that giving not only brings joy to others, but also nurtures kindness, compassion, and happiness from within yourself. Part 5. Golden Key Number 5. Contributing through wholesome work. The meaning of right livelihood. Welcome to the 5th golden key on our journey of 8 golden keys to unlock inner peace. After we have explored right perception, constructive thinking, beautiful words, and benevolent actions, an extremely important aspect, occupying most of our time and energy in life, is work, the way we earn a living. I call this key contributing through wholesome work. Contributing through wholesome work means we actively choose and pursue professions, ways of earning a living that are honest, upright, do not cause harm to others, to the community, to living beings, and to our environment. And ideally, that work also brings positive values, contributing to making this life better. In modern society, we spend most of our time in a day, even most of our lives, at work. If that work makes us feel uneasy in our conscience, conflicts with our core moral values, or directly or indirectly harms others, it is very difficult for us to find true peace and happiness in our souls, no matter how high the income that work might bring. So specifically, what constitutes wholesome work? A right livelihood, not directly causing harm to the life and well-being of others and animals. These are jobs unrelated to the production or trade of weapons of mass destruction, toxic substances harmful to public health, or addictive substances that destroy human lives. These are also jobs that do not involve fraud, misappropriation of others' property, cruel labor exploitation, or severe environmental destruction. Example: you would not choose to work for a company that specializes in discharging untreated toxic chemical waste directly into rivers, polluting water sources, and affecting the health of many people. Or you would not participate in an organization that specializes in defrauding lonely elderly people, stealing their meager savings. Even though such jobs might offer very high income in the short term, it would be at the cost of your peace of mind and unimaginable long-term consequences, not indirectly causing harm or abetting evil, unethical behaviors. Sometimes, a job may appear very normal, legal on the surface, but upon closer examination, it is indirectly causing negative impacts or abetting unwholesome actions. Example: marketing a low-quality product, but deliberately exaggerating its benefits untruthfully to deceive consumers, causing them to lose money and gain illness. Or working as an accountant or auditor for a business, but intentionally falsifying records to help them evade taxes or launder money. Or working in a heavily polluting industry, like reckless resource extraction, energy production from fossil fuels without environmental impact mitigation measures, without any awareness of improvement, without seeking more sustainable alternatives. Bringing positive value, contributing to the development of society. This is the most ideal level. The best is when your work is not just harmless, but also actively brings benefits, creates value for life. These are jobs that help others physically or mentally, like doctors, nurses, teachers, psychologists, social workers. These are jobs that create useful products and services, improving the quality of life, like craftsmen who make beautiful and durable products, programmers who create useful applications, scientists who make new discoveries. These are jobs that contribute to environmental protection, nature conservation, or jobs that promote arts, culture, enriching the spiritual life of people. Example: a dedicated carpenter makes tables and chairs that are not only beautifully designed, but also sturdy and durable, serving the essential needs of people. A passionate programmer creates a free language learning application, helping many people access new knowledge more easily. A farmer chooses to grow organic vegetables, providing safe, nutritious meals for the community, while also protecting their own health and the land. But what if my current job isn't really as wholesome as I'd like, or I'm doing a job that I feel doesn't have much meaning? This is a very realistic question that many of us might be facing. Not everyone has the ideal conditions to immediately find or switch to a perfect job. But contributing through wholesome work is a journey, a direction, a continuous effort for us to gradually get closer to that goal. Start with awareness and efforts to improve within your scope. If you realize your job has aspects that are not truly good or might cause some negative impacts, start by being clearly aware of it without avoidance. Then, consider what you can do within your authority and ability to minimize those harms or add more positive values. Example: if you work in a manufacturing plant, you can research and propose solutions to save energy, reduce industrial waste, or improve labor safety conditions for workers. If you work in customer service, you can choose to advise honestly, diligently, always prioritizing customer benefit and satisfaction, instead of just trying to sell at all costs. Set long-term goals for change and redirection. if necessary, if your current job truly goes against too many of your core moral values, and you feel you cannot find peace or meaning in it, consider it a temporary stepping stone while you accumulate more experience, skills, or seek other, more suitable opportunities. Bravely make a plan, a specific roadmap for you to gradually transition to a field, a job where you feel more meaning and can contribute more positively to society. Example: a friend of mine used to work as an accountant for a company where she felt her daily work revolved only around dry numbers and didn't contribute much meaning to the community. She spent her evenings and weekends studying nutrition and health. After a few years of perseverance, she transitioned to become a nutrition consultant, helping people build healthier lifestyles. She shared that although her initial income might not have matched her old job, she felt her new job was truly meaningful, bringing her much more joy and satisfaction. Find meaning and value even in the most ordinary jobs. Even jobs that seem very ordinary, not too lofty, can bring meaning and value if we perform them with all our heart, with dedication and awareness of our contribution. A sanitation worker diligently keeps the streets clean and beautiful, contributing to public health. A careful driver transports people safely to their destinations. A cook prepares delicious and hygienic meals for diners. Every job, regardless of position, if performed responsibly and with good intentions, has its own value. What matters is our attitude and mindset when performing that job. Contributing through wholesome work is not just a means for us to earn money to live. It is also how we express our own value, how we contribute our small efforts to the functioning and development of society, and an important source for us to find joy, satisfaction, and meaning in life. When you do a job that you believe is right, honest, and beneficial to life, you will have much more motivation, creativity, and a justifiable sense of pride. And certainly, inner peace is also nurtured and developed naturally from there. Take some time to reflect on your current job. Is it truly contributing through wholesome work? Do you feel meaning and peace while doing that job? And if not, what can you do, however small, to make it more wholesome and meaningful, starting today? Part 6. Golden Key Number 6. Wise Effort. Persistently cultivating good, eliminating bad. We have journeyed through the first 5 keys: gaining right understanding, nurturing constructive thinking, using beautiful words, performing benevolent actions, and choosing a right livelihood. So, what will help us maintain and develop all these good things sustainably, while proactively preventing and eliminating unwholesome things that may creep into our lives? That is the 6th golden key, a key that requires perseverance and wisdom: wise effort. Wise effort here is not merely about trying hard, trying very hard blindly, or being enthusiastic temporarily only to give up later. It is a conscious effort with clear direction, carried out persistently, diligently, and especially with balance to achieve for crucial goals in self-perfection and creating a peaceful life. Preventing unwholesome things, negative seeds that have not yet had a chance to sprout. Eliminating, uprooting unwholesome things, negative habits that already exist. Developing, sowing good things, positive qualities that we do not yet possess. Maintaining and further strengthening the good things, positive habits that we have already acquired. Sounds like a lot, right? But don't worry, I'll explain each point with specific examples right away. Imagine your mind and life as the garden we've mentioned many times, and you are the gardener tending to that garden. Preventing weeds from growing, preventing and unwholesome things. This requires alertness, awareness, and a bit of foresight from the gardener. You know that if you're not careful, weeds, negative thoughts, bad habits, toxic emotions can easily invade and grow in your garden. Therefore, you need to proactively create protective fences and limit factors that can facilitate the growth of weeds. Example: you know that if you expose your mind too much to negative information on social media, criticism, judgment, or friends who are always pessimistic and complaining, the weeds of discouragement, doubt, or irritation will very easily sprout in your mind. Therefore, wise effort here is to proactively limit exposure to those negative energy sources. You can filter the information you read, unfollow pages that spread fake news or sensationalism, or keep a distance from negative friends if they negatively affect you. Or, you easily get angry and say harsh words when you're hungry. So, wise effort is that you won't let yourself get too hungry, especially before important meetings, conversations that require calmness, or when you have to make important decisions. Or you notice you're easily distracted by phone notifications when you need to focus on work or study. Wise effort is to proactively turn off all unnecessary notifications or even leave your phone in another room during periods when you need deep concentration. Uprooting weeds that have grown, eliminating existing unwholesome things. Everyone, to some extent, has weeds that have taken root in their mental garden. These could be unwholesome habits, like procrastinating, judging others, telling white lies, or compulsive shopping. Negative thought patterns that have become ingrained, like, I'm so incompetent, life is unfair, nobody understands me. Or persistent toxic emotions, like excessive anxiety, low self-esteem, or simmering jealousy. Wise effort means not ignoring them, not overlooking them, but persistently, bravely finding ways to identify and eliminate them. Example, you have a habit of procrastinating, always leaving things until the last minute. Instead of just blaming yourself and then continuing to procrastinate, try to understand the deep-seated reason for that procrastination. Are you afraid of failure? Or is the task too overwhelming? Or do you not know where to start? Then, apply specific techniques like breaking down the task into smaller, more manageable steps, setting clear deadlines for each step, rewarding yourself with small treats upon completion, or finding a companion to remind and encourage each other. Or you realize you have a tendency to judge and criticize others. Wise effort is that every time that judgmental thought arises, you consciously pause, ask yourself, do I really understand their whole situation? Am I imposing my standards on others? Is there another, more compassionate, more empathetic way to look at this? Then you strive to practice empathy, trying to put yourself in their shoes to better understand their motivations and difficulties. Sowing new seeds, nurturing good things we don't yet have, or that are still weak. Life is a continuous journey of learning, developing, and perfecting oneself. Wise effort means we proactively seek, learn, and cultivate good qualities, new skills, positive habits that we wish to acquire to make our lives richer, more meaningful, and better. Example, you feel you lack patience, you're often hasty. You can start training patience with small daily things, like practicing deep breathing a few times when you feel you're about to get irritated, or persistently pursuing a new hobby that requires meticulousness and time, like learning a musical instrument, painting, embroidering, or growing a plant. Every time you overcome your impatience, even just a little, it's an important step forward. Or you want to improve your communication skills to connect better with people. You can proactively read books on the art of communication, take a soft skills course, or more importantly, proactively practice listening attentively when others speak and practice expressing your thoughts clearly, respectfully, and constructively. Caring for existing good plants, maintaining and further strengthening existing good things. Good habits, positive qualities, useful knowledge and skills that we have painstakingly cultivated and acquired need to be maintained and nurtured regularly and consistently. Otherwise, they can also fade, be forgotten over time, or be overgrown by new weeds. Example, you've established a habit of reading for 30 minutes every day. Wise effort is to continue maintaining that precious habit, not letting busy schedules or temporary laziness interrupt it. You can also enrich that habit by expanding to new genres of books you've never read before, or sharing interesting things, useful knowledge you've learned from books with friends and family. Or you are naturally a kind person, often helping others. Continue to spread that kindness through concrete daily actions. Seek more opportunities to help others within your capacity. This not only brings joy to others, but also makes the good plant of kindness within you grow stronger and provide more shade. A very important aspect of wise effort is balance and persistence, perseverance. It's not a sprint, trying with all your might for a short time, then collapsing in exhaustion. It's more like a long-distance marathon, requiring us to know how to allocate our energy, maintain a steady pace, and keep moving forward, even if the speed isn't always fast. Also, don't overexert yourself to the point of feeling stressed, tired, or creating unnecessary pressure for yourself. Find a rhythm that suits your circumstances and abilities, and most importantly, be persistent in taking steps every day. Wise effort requires us to have high self-awareness, to know where we are on the journey of self-improvement, where we want to go, and what we need to do to achieve it most effectively and sustainably. Remember, positive change will come, sooner or later, if we continuously strive wisely and steadfastly. Part 7. Golden Key Number 7. Dwelling in the Present. The power of full attention to this moment. Welcome to the 7th Golden Key, a key that I believe has a magical power, especially in today's modern world filled with distractions and haste. After we have made wise and persistent efforts to cultivate good things in our minds and actions, how can we truly enjoy and experience life deeply, fully, instead of constantly regretting the past or worrying about the future? The answer lies in the key named dwelling in the present. Dwelling in the present means we learn to bring our full attention, our awareness, intentionally to the present moment, to what is actually happening right now, right here, without judgment, without being swept away by rambling thoughts about the past that has gone or worries and imaginations about the future that has not yet come. Have you noticed? Our minds very often wander, rarely willing to stay home, in the present moment. When eating a delicious meal, our mind wanders to unfinished work at the office or unresolved conflicts with someone. When trying to concentrate on work, our mind suddenly drifts to past joys and sorrows, or daydreams about an ideal upcoming summer vacation. When talking to a close friend, listening to them share, our hand unconsciously scrolls through our phone, or our mind wanders, thinking about what to cook for dinner. We are physically present, but our minds are traveling somewhere far away. We live as if in a dream state, not truly feeling and experiencing fully what life is offering. Dwelling in the present is a practice, a skill to bring the mind back to its true home, which is this very moment, this instant. When you eat, really eat, give your full attention to the meal. Perceive the colors, the shapes of the food. Smell its attractive aroma. When you put food in your mouth, chew very slowly. Feel each flavor, salty, sweet, sour, spicy, bitter, savory. Spreading in your mouth, feel the texture of the food, soft, chewy, crispy. Be grateful for the meal you are having. Try turning off the TV, putting away your phone, and just focusing on eating. You'll be surprised to find that even a simple meal can become a much more enjoyable and nourishing experience when you are truly mindful. Example, try eating an orange very slowly. Hold the orange in your hand. Feel its weight, its roundness. Observe the vibrant color of its skin. Peel each segment. Smell its fresh, zesty fragrance. When you put a segment in your mouth, feel the sweetness, the slight tartness, and the juicy pulp bursting. You'll see that an ordinary orange can provide such a rich and wonderful experience when you are fully present with it. When you work, really work, try to focus all your mind and energy on the task you are performing. This not only helps you increase work efficiency, minimize errors, but also helps you feel less stressed, less tired due to distraction. Example, instead of trying to do many things at once, like drafting an email, talking on the phone, and scrolling through social media, a very common habit nowadays, try doing one thing at a time, finishing one task before moving on to the next. Or you can apply techniques like Pomodoro. Dedicate a full 25 minutes to focus entirely on a specific task, then take a short 5-minute break before starting a new cycle. You'll be surprised at the level of concentration and the amount of work you can accomplish. When you are with loved ones, friends, really be with them. Give them your full attention. Listen to what they say with all your heart. Look into their eyes to perceive unspoken things, and truly feel the connection between you and them. Temporarily put aside your smartphone, worries about work, or other plans. Example, when your child is excitedly telling you a story about what happened at school, sit down at their eye level, look into their clear eyes, and listen to their story attentively, occasionally asking questions that show your genuine interest. That is the most precious gift you can give your child. Not expensive toys, but your full presence, your sincere listening. When you take a walk, really take a walk. Feel each step you take touching the ground. Feel the cool breeze blowing against your skin. Listen to the sounds of life happening around you. Birds chirping in the trees, traffic passing on the road, children laughing in the park. Look at the colors of plants, flowers, the clouds drifting lazily in the sky, or the warm golden light of the afternoon. Example: on your way home from work each day, instead of burying your face in your phone screen or being lost in rambling thoughts about past or future events, try looking up. Observe the people rushing by, the trees lining the road changing with the seasons, the tall buildings reaching for the blue sky. You might discover simple beauties, interesting things that you previously missed due to being too hasty. Dwelling in the present doesn't mean we are absolutely forbidden from thinking about the past to draw valuable lessons, or from planning for the future to have clear directions for our lives. The past gives us lessons, the future gives us goals. But the problem is, we often get stuck for too long in regrets, in self-recrimination about what has passed and cannot be changed, or we drift too far into anxieties, unrealistic expectations about what has not yet come, forgetting that real life, true life, is only happening in this very moment, right here, right now. The benefits that practicing dwelling in the present brings us are immense and practical. Reduces stress, anxiety. When you focus your attention on what is happening in the present, your mind will have less opportunity to wander to uncontrollable things in the past or future, thereby reducing negative emotions. Enhances concentration and work efficiency. Mindfulness helps you work deeper, focus better, learn more effectively, and achieve better results. Improves the quality of relationships. When you truly listen and are present with others, they will feel respected, understood, and the connection between you and them will become deeper, more meaningful. Helps you enjoy life more fully. You will begin to recognize and appreciate the beauty, the joys in the small, simple, everyday things that you might have inadvertently missed before because your mind was always distracted. Strengthens self-awareness. You will understand more clearly your own thought patterns, emotions, and automatic reactions, thereby having the opportunity to change and improve yourself. How can we practice dwelling in the present in this busy life? Start with your breath. Your breath is always with you, right in this present moment. Whenever you feel your mind wandering, being carried away by rambling thoughts, gently bring your attention back to the sensation of the breath as it enters and leaves your nostrils, or feel the rise and fall of your abdomen as you inhale and exhale. Just a few conscious breaths can help bring your mind back to the present. Use your senses as anchors for mindfulness. Actively pay attention to what you are seeing, colors, shapes, light, what you are hearing, near sounds, distant sounds, the silence between sounds, what you are smelling, the scent of the air, food, flowers, what you are tasting, the flavor of food, drinks, and what you are touching, the feel of clothes on your skin, your feet on the ground, your fingers on the keyboard. Set small reminders for yourself. You can put a small sticky note on your desk or a wallpaper on your phone with simple phrases like, "Where are you right now?" "The present is most precious," or "Breathe in, breathe out." These reminders will help you occasionally startle and bring your mind back to the present moment. Practice in daily activities consciously, like when you brush your teeth, feel the toothpaste on the brush, feel the movement of the brush in your mouth. When you wash dishes, feel the warm water, the soap suds, the cleanliness of the dish after washing. When you drink a cup of tea, feel the warmth, the aroma, the slightly bitter than sweet aftertaste of the tea. Try to do these things with full attention, instead of mechanically, automatically while your mind wanders. Dwelling in the present is a skill, and like any other skill, it needs to be practiced patiently and regularly every day. There will be times when your mind still goes on a trip. That's completely normal, especially when you're just starting. The important thing is that you recognize it and gently, without judgment, without blaming yourself, bring your mind back to your object of attention in the present moment. Every time you do that, you are strengthening your mindfulness muscle, making it more resilient. Be patient with yourself and enjoy the wonderful journey of truly living, truly being present in every precious moment of your life. Part 8. Golden Key Number 8. Inner Calm and Mental Steadfastness. the power of deep inner quieting and direction. And finally, we have arrived at the eighth golden key, the last but also incredibly important key in the set of 8 golden keys to unlock inner peace. After we have gained clear insight, nurtured constructive thinking, practiced wise words, kind intentions, benevolent actions, right livelihood, made wise effort, and learned how to dwell in the present, this key will help us reach an even deeper state of stillness, stability, and concentration of the mind. I call it inner calm and mental steadfastness. Inner calm and mental steadfastness is our ability to intentionally direct and keep our minds focused on a single object steadfastly and without being scattered by rambling thoughts or disturbances and stimuli from the external world. It is a state where the mind becomes profoundly calm, as stable as a mountain, as clear as an autumn lake, and filled with a self-possessed peace. Imagine our mind is like the surface of a lake we've mentioned before. When there's wind, which represents wandering thoughts, turbulent emotions, external distractions, the lake's surface will ripple, become choppy, or even develop fierce waves, causing the water to become murky, unable to clearly reflect the surrounding scenery, and also making it impossible to see what lies deep at the bottom of the lake. But when the wind subsides, when there are no more disturbing elements, the lake's surface becomes as flat as a giant mirror, crystal clear and still. At that point, it can reflect most truthfully and clearly the vast blue sky, the white clouds drifting lazily, and the beautiful scenery on both banks. And you can also see through to the very bottom of the lake, clearly seeing the pebbles, the schools of fish swimming merrily. Inner calm and mental steadfastness is a deliberate effort to help the lake of our mind become that flat, clear, and still. Why is inner calm and mental steadfastness so important on the journey to find peace? It enhances deep concentration, leading to outstanding work and study efficiency. When your mind is no longer scattered by thousands of wandering thoughts or external noises, you can delve much more effectively into any task, problem, or field of study. This is the state of flow or deep work that many successful people in the world strive for to achieve maximum productivity and create valuable products or works. Example: a writer needs deep concentration, a still mind to be able to hear the voices from deep within, to weave captivating stories, characters with depth. A scientist needs a calm mind and sustained concentration to be able to diligently research, analyze data, and solve complex scientific problems, sometimes taking many years. An artist, like a musician, painter, or dancer, also needs a settled and focused mind to be able to flourish in their artistic creations. It brings profound inner peace, not easily shaken. When the waves of thoughts, of negative emotions temporarily subside, you will feel a true peace, a real relaxation coming from within your own soul. This is not a temporary peace, dependent on everything external going smoothly, but an internal state, an inner stability, not easily disturbed by the fluctuations of circumstances. Example: even if you are in the middle of a noisy, bustling city with all sorts of chaotic sounds, or facing pressures and stresses in work or relationships, if you have the ability of inner calm and mental steadfastness, you can still find an oasis of peace, a quiet space right within your own soul, to rest, to regenerate energy. It strengthens self-control over emotions and behavior. When your mind becomes more stable and focused, you will be less swept away by impulsive emotions, negative reactions that are automatic and thoughtless. You will have more space, more time to observe what is happening within you, and thereby be able to choose a wiser, more constructive response, instead of just acting on instinct. Example: when criticized or provoked unreasonably by someone, instead of immediately flaring up in anger and retaliating with similar or even harsher words, a mind trained in concentration will help you pause for a moment. You can recognize the uncomfortable, angry feeling rising within you, but you are not controlled by it. You can choose to remain silent, take a few deep breaths to calm down, or if necessary, respond calmly, politely, yet firmly maintaining your viewpoint, instead of letting negative emotions lead. It helps develop clarity, wisdom, and intuition, gut feeling when your mind becomes still, no longer disturbed by the noise of thousands of wandering thoughts, worries, or prejudices, then deep insights, unexpected creative ideas, and even intuition, what we often call gut feeling, will often emerge more easily. It's like when the lake's surface is completely flat and clear, you can clearly see the precious gems hidden at the bottom of the lake. Example, many great scientists and inventors in history often had aha moments, finding solutions to difficult problems when they were in a state of deep relaxation, highly focused on the problem, or even in dreams, after a long period of intense contemplation and thought. That's when their minds had reached a certain level of stillness and concentration, allowing deeper insights to surface. How can we cultivate inner calm and mental steadfastness? This is a process that requires perseverance, discipline, and regular practice. It cannot be achieved overnight. Practice intentional mind quieting. In daily life, set aside a certain amount of time. You can start with 5 to 10 minutes each day, then gradually increase it as you get used to it, to sit quietly and focus all your attention on a single object. That object could be your breath. This is the most common, most accessible object and always available to you. Simply observe the sensation of the breath as it enters and leaves your nostrils, or feel the gentle rise and fall of your abdominal wall as you inhale and exhale. When your mind wanders due to other thoughts, this will definitely happen, especially when you first start practicing. Gently recognize that you are distracted, and without judgment, without frustration, simply bring your attention back to your breath. A visualized image. You can close your eyes and imagine in your mind an image that brings a sense of comfort and peace, e.g., a candle burning steadily and radiating warm light, a pure lotus flower slowly opening, or a gentle circle of light. Try to keep your attention on that image for as long as possible, observing its details. A specific sound. You can focus on a sound that repeats regularly and gently, e.g., the ticking of a pendulum clock, the slow rhythm of a temple gong, or instrumental music with a simple, soothing, repetitive melody. A short, positive phrase, a positive affirmation. You can choose a short phrase that is positive and inspiring for you, e.g., I am feeling peaceful, everything will be okay, I love and accept myself. Silently repeat that phrase in your mind with full attention. Create a quiet space and a comfortable posture for practice. When starting out, choosing a quiet space with few distractions will help you concentrate more easily. You can sit on a chair with a straight back, feet comfortably on the floor, or sit cross-legged on a cushion, as long as you feel comfortable and can maintain the posture for a period without pain or discomfort. Be patient, non-judgmental of yourself, and accept distraction as part of the process. Our minds have a natural tendency to jump around from thought to thought, like a restless monkey swinging from branch to branch. So, don't get discouraged or blame yourself when you can't concentrate immediately or when your mind is constantly distracted by all sorts of thoughts. That's perfectly normal. Everyone experiences this when starting out. The important thing is that every time you realize you're distracted, gently, without judgment, bring your mind back to your original object of focus. Each time you bring it back is a time you are training and strengthening your concentration muscle. Integrate concentration into daily activities, not just in separate practice sessions. In addition to the time you set aside specifically for mind-quieting practice, you can also train your ability to concentrate in everyday activities. For example, when you read a book, try to focus only on the content of the book, ignoring your ringing phone or surrounding noises. When you are doing a task that requires meticulousness and precision, like cooking a new dish, repairing a household item, or solving a difficult math problem, try to devote all your mind and attention to that task, not letting other thoughts interfere. Inner calm and mental steadfastness is not an effort to try to suppress all thoughts, because that is impossible and also unnecessary. Thoughts will still come and go. That is the natural nature of the mind. Rather, we learn not to be swept away by those thoughts. Learn to maintain the stability, clarity, and direction of our minds. It's like being a skilled captain, firmly steering your ship safely and in the right direction amidst the big waves of thoughts, instead of letting the ship be aimlessly tossed about by those waves in the open sea. This 8th golden key can be considered the pinnacle of inner cultivation in the set of 8 golden keys. It not only helps us deal with life's challenges more effectively and calmly, but also helps us touch a deeper level of peace, clarity, and true happiness that comes from within our own souls. Part 9. Summary and Closing Message: The Endless Journey to Peace. So, we have journeyed together through the complete 8 golden keys to unlock inner peace. It's been a rather long journey, but I hope it has brought you many useful and interesting insights. Allow me to briefly recap these 8 precious keys once more. Seeing things as they are, perceiving the true nature of all things correctly, constructive thinking, nurturing positive, benevolent thoughts, wise words, kind intentions, communicating truthfully, kindly, beneficially, and at the right time, benevolent actions, performing right, harmless deeds, contributing through wholesome work, choosing a right, meaningful livelihood, wise effort, persistently cultivating good things and eliminating bad ones, dwelling in the present, living fully and mindfully in every moment of life, inner calm and mental steadfastness, training the ability to concentrate the mind, achieving inner calm and stability. You see, these 8 keys are not lofty, distant philosophies, or complex, difficult to implement formulas reserved for a select few. They are extremely practical, relatable guidelines that can be applied to every aspect of our daily lives, from how we perceive the world around us and ourselves, how we think, how we speak, act, work, to how we face unavoidable challenges and how we enjoy the joys and happiness in life. The most important thing I want you to remember is that these 8 golden keys are not a list of separate, isolated tasks, but a system of interconnected elements that support and reinforce each other. When you have seeing things as they are, key 1, meaning you have clear insight, you will more easily have constructive thinking, key 2. When your thoughts are directed towards goodness, have become positive, then wise words, kind intentions, key 3, and benevolent actions, key 4, will naturally flow from within you, without force. A job of contributing through wholesome work, key 5, will help you achieve peace of mind, free from guilt or remorse, thereby creating more favorable conditions for practicing the other keys. To sustainably maintain and develop all these good things, you will definitely need wise effort, key 6, perseverance, persistence, and direction. And dwelling in the present, key 7, will be an invaluable tool to help you practice all other keys more consciously, deeply, and effectively in every moment of life. Finally, when you have a solid foundation from the 7 keys above, training inner calm and mental steadfastness, key 8, will help make all your efforts stronger, more stable, and bring more profound, lasting results in finding inner peace. They are like the spokes of a wheel. All are necessary and must coordinate smoothly and synchronously for the wheel to roll smoothly and steadily on the path leading to true peace and happiness. Another very important point is that this is a journey of comprehensive transformation, a continuous process of training, not a destination that can be reached overnight or after a few days of effort. There will be times when we feel we are doing very well with some keys, but encounter quite a lot of difficulty with others. There will be times when we feel we are progressing very quickly, very clearly, but also times when we feel we are treading water or even regressing a bit. That is completely normal and an indispensable part of the process of learning, growing, and perfecting ourselves. Never pressure yourself to become perfect immediately or to practice all 8 keys excellently from the start. Be patient with yourself, start with the smallest steps, practice little by little, a bit each day. Perhaps you can choose 1 or 2 keys that you feel closest to, most necessary, or easiest to practice for you at the present time to begin. Then, gradually, when you have some initial positive experiences and results, you can expand to practicing other keys. Always remember, peace is not something external for us to tirelessly seek and hunt for. It is an internal state, a precious quality that can be cultivated and nurtured from within you. By practicing these 8 golden keys sincerely, persistently, and regularly, we are, step by step, building a solid foundation for peace, freedom, and sustainable happiness in our own souls. The outside world may still have its upheavals, challenges, unsatisfactory things that we cannot completely control. But when you have this master set of keys in your hand and strive to learn how to use them skillfully, you will be like a skilled sailor with a clear compass and chart. No matter how stormy or rough the sea, you will still know how to find your way to the shore of peace. You will find stability, stillness, and joy even amidst the turmoil, the ups and downs of life. Thank you very much for spending your precious time listening and accompanying Unlocking Inner Peace throughout today's journey of exploring the 8 golden keys to unlock inner peace. I truly hope that these sharings will bring you not only new information and knowledge, but more importantly, inspiration and motivation to embark on your practical journey, step by step creating peace and happiness for your own life, starting with the smallest things. Once again, I apologize to everyone that today's podcast episode was a bit longer than expected, but because each key is important and I wanted to share it thoroughly, I hope everyone will understand and still find much value for themselves. Don't forget, every small step you take on this path, whether it's just a kinder thought, a more considerate word, an act of helping others, or simply a few minutes you spend focusing on your breath, is incredibly precious and is contributing to making a positive difference in your life and the lives of those around you. If you find the content in this podcast episode useful and meaningful, please don't hesitate to like, and especially share it with your friends and loved ones, those whom you think also need these sharings to make their lives better. And of course, please subscribe to the Unlocking Inner Peace channel so you don't miss future episodes, where we might delve deeper into specific practical aspects, or explore other interesting topics related to mastering the mind and creating a truly meaningful life. Your support is the greatest encouragement for me to continue this podcast series. Wishing you all a day full of joy, much peace, and that you always find serenity in every moment of life. See you in the next podcast episodes of Unlocking Inner Peace. Goodbye.